What's up, friends? This is Jazz bringing you my first in a new series that I may do weekly, bi-weekly. It's going to be a vlog, and I may eventually balance out what the vlogs are going to be about and have different playlists for them. But I thought I would make my very first vlog about a game, rather than review it because I do not have enough game footage to properly represent it. Also, this is going to take up the spot for the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney for a reason I'm going to explain in this vlog. For the last 3 days, I've spent 6 hours non-stop each day playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gate to Infinity. I know it's old, I've played it before, but I restarted a new game and played it again. And even though I played it, I did not record it because there's only so much space I can use on my computer. So I thought I would do a vlog rather than a review. I may do it a proper review later on, but not at this point. But anyway, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gate to Infinity is the 6th installed game in the Mystery Dungeon franchise, which began on the Game Boy Advance with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team. Now, I'm going to say how I feel about it, what it's basically about, and so on. This game is pretty much like, or the Mystery Dungeon games are pretty much story-based games that you go Rube style through a dungeon. There's so many floors on each dungeon, and you also can take requests to get certain items, progress in the story, so forth. And that's the basic in a lot of these games. All of those games, to a degree. Not the story. The stories are actually different, in a way. Right? But anyway, that's the gameplay, for most part. But anyway, the story of this particular game, and heads up, spoiler alert. You wake up as a Pokemon one day, and before I go to the rest of the story, this is the first fault I'm going to bring up about this game. 5 Pokemon, folks. In the other games, you've had at least 13, 14 options for both your partner and your starter. Like in Red Rescue Team and Blue Rescue Team, you could choose from the first 3 region starters. Maybe Meowth in Blue or Red, I forget. Skitty. I'm trying to remember. Pikachu for sure. That's just to name a few. This one, you could choose between, as you see here, it shows almost all the starters on the menu. You could choose between the 3 Universe starters, Pikachu and Axew. Oh, pick, yeah, that's another thing. In the prior 5 Mystery Dungeon installments, they gave you a personality test to decide your starter. You chose your partner, but that is different. Your partner can complement the partner that you were selected as, or put as. Yes, there's pros and cons to both being able to choose and being randomly chosen based on your personality that they said you were. It's random. It's fun. Makes you take a risk when you are randomly selected as a Pokemon for starter. On this game, you can choose any one of those 5 you want. Yes, again, I'm still P, just 5. You can choose the easiest one to win with, which, I don't know, I haven't played as all 5 completely. I've played actually a majority of my games that I've completed, for the most part. But still, even then, those 5, there's not much of an option. And guess what? You don't get additional options for your partner. You only have the 4 that you haven't chose left. What a thrill. And one thing that grinds my gears is that they're all pretty hard to evolve. Well, actually, no. The 3 Universe starters are average to the starter evolution, but Pikachu and Axew, the fully evolved Axew, it's at least, I think, level 42 to be fully evolved into Haxorus. At least. It could be higher. If it is, then, well, yippity-doo-dah-day. With Pikachu, you need a Thunderstone, like you know already. But, yeah, there's only certain ways you can get it. I mean, it's easier than some of the Mystery Dungeon games, but you've got to play mini-games and whatever to win those stones. So it's almost impossible to evolve Pikachu unless you have a Thunderstone by the end of the game. In this main story, which, unless you really work hard in that mini-game, those mini-games, it's hard to get. But anyway, back to the main story. You're woken as a Pokemon. You beat your partner, like any other game. And he says he wants to start a paradise, which is, he finds his home, and he wants to expand on it and get Pokemon and whatnot. Another big objective to the story is to save the Pokemon world, like most games, from the great, what is it? I forget, not the Great Glacier, that's where you have to go. From the cold. Now I forget what it is called. But, anyway, you have to defeat Kyurem to defeat the Great Cold or Sheer Cold, or no, that's the moveset, but that, we'll say, is caused by Pokemon's hearts, right? Like, them giving up on things and giving up on trust and whatnot. So you have to get them to believe, and then you have to defeat and destroy that. And you beat several Pokemon, like, when you first become a Pokemon, you have a dream of a Munna being chased by a Haxorus. So you think it's your mission to save that Munna from that horrible Pokemon. Which, again, spoiler, it turns out that horrible Pokemon is Munna, and Haxorus is the good guy in the series, and the one who called you to the Pokemon world to save the world. Oh, the bitter cold! Sorry, I just keep that real. It's the bitter cold you have to destroy. And the storyline is pretty good. I mean, it's basic, but to the not-so storyline, you have to build a paradise, which sounds like a good concept, and it is. To an extent, it can get very old. Really old, guys. I mean, imagine playing that over and over, and I know, yes, there's storyline. With there's storyline, that's perfect. Right? You get the storyline, you build your paradise, great. And here's to the positive yet not positive. What positive yet not positive thing. In this game, they give you an option called Companion Mode. After you go so far and you make a team and whatever. In the Companion Mode, you and your partner and whoever's on that team is away for an adventure. And then any Pokemon left in Paradise, is what they call it, it can be chosen as a new leader for this Companion Mode. And in that mode, really what you do is you take on board requests and that to get material. Yes, and that's another thing. On that board, you really only get material to build those buildings. You will get other items, but they're so random that you do not know if they're going to be good or crap. Right? The majority of it on the board is talking about items like heavy boulder. Heavy lumber, hard boulder. I'm trying to think of what else they use. Sturdy vine. I'm just thinking of a few to name that I know. Right? But really, the only other way to get items is that there's a board on the other side of in the game that you need at least a level 33, 34 to have a chance at a level 3 mission on that board. Level 3, guys. I mean, you don't have to go for a dungeon in it. Or anything, right? But you have to defeat a boss and 3 Pokemon with it. And the boss isn't always bad. It's the 3 Pokemon that's usually bad. But besides the point, that's the only way you can get things like Revive or Seeds and other items. And know you're getting them. if you win. And companion mode is good to get money and items because it's all transferred to your main story to help you, right? But it gets old like hell. I mean, you can only go so long playing dungeons, making buildings, and you can't leave the area. So there's a few Pokemon there that I'm gonna say a few Pokemon there, like Cofagrigus, Rampardos. Rampardos. I forget the other Pokemon that gives gifts. I do not know. But anyway, she gives gifts that can help you recruit Pokemon. They're all there. And Rampardos smashes boss, per se. And all those Pokemon are there, plus Quagsire and everyone, like the facilities to buy things or whatever. But you can't leave the area to go to a dungeon unless you're doing a mission. So, really, in that mode, there's nothing more than getting materials, building your paradise, gaining experience, which, another thing that's good. All your Pokemon in paradise, no matter if they're with you or not, gain experience, and will level up when you put them into a dungeon, if they've gained enough experience to level up to that level. That's a really great thing, guys, because you could raise your whole team that has been recruited. Your whole Pokemon paradise. That's a very strong attribute to that. And the fact that they give you an option to not continue through the game until you're a high enough level. Which is great. Right? I mean, and some of the negative things. I know in this year, I'll admit, is a little nitpicky. As I mentioned, I spent like 6 hours through 3 days playing this. This game, guys, is extremely addictive. I know it could just be me, but it could be many other people who agree with me on this. Like, I do admit Nintendo gives you a warning every few hours, an hour or so, saying you've had a great adventure. How about you rest before, like after you save, how about you rest before you play more? But I swear when they had that in the game, they're thinking, they like this game so much that they're not going to even think of shutting it off. But we better put that in for the parents won't sue us. And Nintendo is probably going to sue me just now. If that doesn't sound bad, one of their shops has an aspect of gambling. Okay, yes, I am speaking a little out of context here, a little far. But literally, yeah, there's an instant ticket, a scratch ticket, and a red ticket. Tickets, the word. I know it sounds silly, but literally, scratch ticket is a scratch. There is a scratch ticket, obviously, in real life. That is a form of gambling that you can't do it till you're 19. They put that option in a kid's game. It's cute and innocent as it is, to a degree, in the form they made it. They should have said lucky or lucky items or whatever. They could have gave it another name that didn't refer to gambling. I mean, really, what message does that give to kids? Waste your time and your money on something that you may not win. I never wasted as much time on that as I did in the dungeons, but another thing, the dungeons, yes, are a bit long, but they've improved on that, giving you plenty of rest stops. They've shortened the dungeons somewhat from the main story. There's still like 17 floors and whatnot, but they give you the option to do a quick save in this. I don't know if they have it in the others. I'm really gonna have to pay attention to that. But I've really noticed that there, where if you quick save, you can shut it off, quit the game, shut it off, turn it back on, and continue from dungeon. On the floor you've been at. Gives you a chance to quit the game. Again, I haven't really followed it, but they know that, obviously. Okay, saying all this, do I hate the game? Hell no. It has beautiful graphics, music when it comes to scenes in the story. The dungeons are mediocre, music are mediocre, and sometimes have a really good tune. And the story is excellent. It is similar to a lot of the other Mystery Dungeon stories, but still has its own twist. Like, I don't remember exactly how it goes, but I remember in the end, again, I know I say it a lot, but that's for people who are still continuing with me, spoilers. Where, when you're returning to the human world, unlike those previous ones where the partner said, no, whoever, the partner does not act up. Instead, there's a prism, which is an ice thing that when you warm it up, it'll have a recording of a person or Pokemon's voice. And this is like a tape recorder, only in the Pokemon world, let's say. And your partner leaves a message to you saying he figured this day would come, and that he knows that your friends in the human world are going to miss you, and he doesn't want them to be without you, like he is going to. And he says this heart-warming message to you, and the other Pokemon talk to you, and he knows you're going to be leaving. He's not surprised like in the other games. He or she. And you'd think that would make it easier to deal with. God damn, it makes you tear up worse than in those other games. I mean, at least in the other games, they're taking it out for you. Where this one, they're not taking out the sadness on themselves. They're not crying. You think that if someone's crying, you'll cry more. But that isn't always, Nintendo did it really powerful this time. They made it real. They made you cry yourself. I mean, the ending is beautiful. The story is beautiful, right? And I respect that game highly, despite those little nitpicks. I mean, if there wasn't nitpicks, then you could do that day. The world would end. Okay, that is being a little dramatic, but you get my point. There's no perfect game. Leave angry comments down below for saying that if there's games you do think are perfect, right? But literally, it's almost, except for my nitpicks, it's pretty much a damn perfect one. They know what to drags it in. And I may say it, but you need comedy in this video. I mean, I admit I have been a bit addicted to it, right? But anyway, if you enjoyed this vlog / whatever you want to call it, give it a thumbs up. Only if you like it. I will see you in the next video. I'll see you next time.